All right, welcome back. Let's talk about carrying the same knife for 101 days. Now, I don't normally wear watches when I do knife videos. I don't want the watch to distract from the item that I am talking about. However, I did a challenge when I first got this watch, the Omega Deep Black Planet Ocean GMT ceramic. When I got it, and I wore it for 101 days when I first got it. When I got this King Battle, I did the same thing. I carried this in my pocket for 101 days. And much to no shock of my own, I bonded with this knife much like I did this watch. I'm just going to take it off here while I film. This is by far probably my most worn watch since I've had it. And I've had it a couple of years now, maybe. I'd have to go back and look at the videos to when I got it. But it simplifies your life by carrying just one knife or wearing one watch. And I think this is a great pair together as well. So I love that fact also. Now I'm not going to call this a Grail knife for me. This model knife, a Frank Fisher Battle, was my Grail. Ever since I saw Jim Skelton do the video on this particular one, maybe 9 years ago now today, 8 or 9 years ago, he did the video on this when it was brand new. I think he actually got it before the original owner. I think it went from Frank's table to Jim Skelton to Abe, the original owner. Then it went to a buddy Tristan, and then it came to me. So once I saw that video and then several other videos that Jim Skelton did on the Battle, I knew that the Battle, this model line, was my Grail knife. No question. Did I think I would ever own one? No. Did I ever think I would own such an exotic one? Hell no. But then my buddy George had this one that I kind of coveted, and this became my first Frank Fisher Battle. I was blown away at the realization that I made a dream come true with a battle. And then once I got one battle, then it became a problem. And I've got a few now. Okay. This one, though, is a special one because this was the one out of the several battles that I own. This is the one I chased. This is the one I wanted. This specific one. It's a little bigger than the others, hence the King Battle name. It's 4¼ inch blade. I've done other videos on it, and I will link my Frank Fisher playlist in the corner. I will also link Jim Skelton's video on this knife when it was brand new in the other corner, because I think it's worth your time to go check that out also, because he does a much better job than I will ever be able to do on a video. Okay, so this started out, seeing it from Jim Skelton years ago, and then I saw that Tristan owned it, and I told Tristan, hey, if you ever decide to sell it, let me know. At the time, he was like, yeah, sure, right, whatever. But we became good friends. We've met at a couple of the California custom knife shows. I got to see this in person at last year's custom knife show, California Custom Knife Show. And I reiterated the fact that if he ever decides to sell it, let me know and I will work it out. So the time came and he did. And I talked about that in my unboxing, so I'm not going to go into all the details. Long and the short of it is, about a year or so after we started talking about me wanting it, he sold it to me. He was chasing bigger and different things and could use the cash. I gladly paid him. We literally made the deal while I was on a plane flying to Atlanta, messaging back and forth. So I got this at the end of 2023, December 27th, I believe it was. And I think at the day of filming, I'm at either 101 days today or 102 days. I think it's 102 day today. But that's okay. What has it meant to me to carry the same knife in my pocket for 101 days, which is a record since I got into collecting? Because all the time we want to switch it up. We change our knife, we change our watches, we want to carry something different, we want to show something different to different people we're going to interact with that day. So be it, right? We bought a new knife, we want to carry it for a few days or a week, and then we move on to something else. 101 days is a long time to bond with a knife. This is, at this moment, one of my favorite knives in the collection, partially because I wanted it for so long, partially because of the relationship that Tristan and I have now because of this, even though we were friends before. Like it kind of solidified our bond. The fact that Jim Skelton saw this when it was brand new holds a special thing to me as well, because Jim and I are good friends. So there's a lot of that. I never had to worry about where I was going or what I was doing, because I had made up in my mind I was carrying this for 101 days. So it just made life a little simpler in the morning. I didn't have to think. And if people saw it, like, hey, what do you got in your pocket today? Oh, the same thing I had last week when I saw you. Nobody cared. Nobody was like disappointed. One thing it did change is I posted on social media a lot less. I noticed that. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I posted less because a lot of times I'd post, here's what I'm carrying today. And previous to this, it was generally different. Had a different watch, a different pen, maybe the same knife for a couple of days, maybe the same watch for a couple of days with a different knife. When it was basically the same carry every day, I didn't feel the need to post it as often because I didn't want people to just get bored with the fact. Now, I did wear my other most worn watch, my Rolex Air King. I just wear those two watches, and I've talked about that in previous videos as well, so I won't belabor that point. Now, I will say that because I have bonded with this so much, and I've used it, I've cut a lot of stuff with this. It is still crazy sharp, and if it ever gets dull, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, because I have some other really high-end knives that need some sharpening, and I'm nervous about who to hand those off to sharpen. Shipping is concerning when you're shipping a 5-figure knife. Yeah, this thing is pricey. And I've carried it every day. I don't care what I'm doing or where I'm going. I just carry it. If it gets scratched, oh well. It's not perfect anymore. It's 8-10 years old. So there are you can feel a little bit of, transition between the materials now, which you couldn't before. But it's because it's been carried, loved, and used by now 3 people. I am the 3rd owner, which I think is cool because it is kind of the 3rd in its size. We've got the King. We've got the normal size at like 4 inches, a 4-inch blade. And then we've got the small guy here at like 3.5-inch blade. And that's another reason why I really wanted this one, because I had these 2. I think when you're in these circles of higher end knives, I got this from Tristan, I got this from George, and I got this from Eric. And I got to meet at Blade Show West last year, 2023, the original owner of this, who's a friend of Eric's. So that was super cool. It kind of tied that all together. So as you get into these higher end knives, it's kind of a circle of collectors and enthusiasts of a brand or a maker. And so I've made some really good friends, and that's how some of these have come to me. Like out of the blue, I get messages from people sometimes, hey, I've got this battle for sale. Are you interested before I post it? That's how I got a bolster lock version in carbon fiber, really plain Jane, from a friend up in Canada. We weren't friends. It was just some random cold call, basically. And now we've become friends and we talk all the time. So, yeah, I've posted a lot less on social media about my EDC carry because it's basically been the same for 101 days. Am I going to carry something different tomorrow? I don't know. I'm pretty happy carrying this, but I might start to mix it up now. I've bonded with this. I think this is more of a keeper, as is this. But that said, I'm not going to say I'm never selling either of these. Yes, I've bonded with both of these very much, but life happens, and sometimes you need to sell things because of life. And I know too many people that have talked in videos and posts online about how this is their ultimate forever knife, whatever it is, fill in the blank. I'm never selling it. It's getting written into my will for my kids, blah, blah, blah. I own some knives that people said that about previously because life happened and they sold. It's a crazy world that we're in with this knife collecting thing or the watch collecting hobby. Thousands and tens of thousands of dollars on a single piece. Add that up over multiple pieces, and you can do the math, and you can guess what some people have in their collection of goofy pocket jewelry. Sort of. We all have a clock on our phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android. It doesn't matter. It's got a time-keeping element to it. Do we need a watch at this point? No. Do you need a knife at this point? Sure, you do. I am a firm believer that you need a knife in your pocket. Do you need a 5-figure knife? Or could you do a $40 affordable knife on Amazon? Well, the same goes true for cars. Yeah, we need a car. Do you need a Ford Focus ST like me? Or do you need an Audi R8? Or a McLaren F1, or you name it. We like what we like. And I think if you're going to own something, you should carry it. You should use it. You should enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts down below if you've made it this far. If you've made it this far, comment EDC. If you haven't made it this far, well, then you're not going to comment EDC. But let me know your thoughts, because I would love to hear how long have you carried a knife or worn a watch consecutive days. Curious minds. Thanks for watching. Hope you stuck around. Check out my playlists up in the corner and have yourselves a fantastic day.